What's up, everyone? Back again with another album review. Thralls of Metal here. I'm Shredlord.
Necrotic Nick.
And we are here to bring you 2020's Body Counts Carnivore.
This came out on the 6th of March on Century Media Records. This is the band's 7th album, and I believe their 3rd since getting back together a while ago. This is, in case you didn't know, Ice-T's metal band. They've been around since 1990 from LA. This has always been kind of an interesting mix of a lot of different things. Thrash metal, crossover, punk, hardcore, and of course still rap, because that's Ice-T's bread and butter.
I don't think people quite know that, yes, the guy from Law & Order was a legit rapper back in the 80s, okay? Yes. Some people don't realize that. Yeah, some people don't realize that. The original gangster, okay?
Yep.
Now that we've cleared the air here, like we can continue.
I've always had a thing for this band. Like, early on, I didn't really get into them musically because some of their earlier stuff wasn't that good. But when they resurfaced, I honestly think they came back stronger than ever, and this pretty much continues the trend. Opening track, title track, Carnivore, just comes out swinging. The roar on it actually sounds like a fucking animal.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. The other thing I'll say, too, before we get too far into it, is the album artwork was really awesome.
Yeah, dude.
The all-white cover made the art kind of pop more, but it's basically, you'll see it somewhere around here.
It's going to be right down here.
Just like, I don't know, like a blood-etched man with, like, the city in his chest
like
and everything.
Teeth
like
and guns and it's really intense. Like,
very
it's
intricate.
A lot of cool stuff going on.
Someone spent a lot of time doing that.
Honestly, it's my favorite album cover from them so far. That is just really wicked. It has a serious impact right away.
Deserved note. It deserved note here.
Yeah, the song comes in with some police sirens too, which always fucks with me in the car because instantly I look really shit. Was I speeding?
Busted again.
Because I speed a lot because all this metal I listen to makes you drive fast. But yeah, right away it is just a really gritty sound. It almost kind of reminded me of like a band like Acacia Strain in terms of like just a kind of a groovy breakdown, real sludgy riffs. And the guitar tone is a little bit sludgier this time from the last album, and the bass is way up in the mix.
Yeah, man. Everything, it was very in your face, but I'll still say the mix was still really tight. Super tight, well produced. It's like right on the verge of being too much, but it wasn't too much.
I think the bass could have like used a little bit of a touch in terms of you can't really hear like the individual notes being hit because it is just this big muddy wash, but it fills out the sound well. And that might be just kind of a thing coming from the rap side of the spectrum where it's just, filling out the sound and, thumping your speakers and shit, because, man, it did thump mine. Now, this one is more of just a groovy beatdown and a really good intro to the album. The next track, Point the Finger, really shows off, like, the crossover thrash stuff. It
definitely.
Really
a lot of chain gang vocals and
Suicidal Tendencies, sort of riffs
definitely
in there. It was just a nice riff.
Very aggressive.
I loved it. Solid riffs, and riffs really drive this album. There are catchy riffs left and right. Even in some of the songs I didn't care for, which happened a little bit later on in the album, I still found myself really latching on to real signature riffs. Their guitar work in here is really good.
Yeah, there was a lot of good, heavy, memorable riffs. So yeah, some good groove to it.
Yeah. Now, Bum Rush was the first one they did a video for, and I have to say, as soon as I heard this song, the opening of it reminds me of like a metal version of The Prodigy, namely Firestarter. It really sounds like it, and the beat is very similar. It's kind of just got this gallop to it, and it's a fun, high-energy song. I can see why they released this as a single because, dude, when it comes down to the chorus breakdown, it just erupts. It is a nasty song.
The other thing I'll say, too, I really enjoyed how the guitar player, you could tell it wasn't just like off the cuff. He took time to develop themes and melodies and good points within the solos. It wasn't just like, fuck it, hit record, brr, brr, brr. Like, it was structured. He thought about it a little bit ahead of time, and I think that went a long way, for me at least.
And I mean, honestly, like, the riffs were varied from song to song, too. I think each one of these songs were really different.
Yeah.
And, there wasn't a lot of ones where I thought it was like, oh, this is just kind of rehash of the last track. It really had a good varied sound across it. And once again, of course, Body Count, since they love metal so much, they threw out a nice little cover. They did a cover of Motorhead's Ace of Spades, and honestly, they fucking ripped it up. It was good.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I had my doubts. There's a quick introduction by Ice-T himself, the original gangster himself. And
dedication to Lemmy too.
the first thing I thought to my head is this is either going to be really cool or this is going to be complete dumpster fire trash. And it ended up being really cool. They did it right. They did it very accurately as far as the music goes. And Ice-T actually, you know,
I really like his vocal delivery on this. And the entire album too. The way he kind of changes his rap cadences to really fit these songs, whether they be like fast, thrashy songs or more of a mid-tempo groove. They really work, and it's kind of like a hardcore punk delivery too. So, I don't know, he's just kind of an interesting vocalist on there, and it all really works well together for the most part here. Because the first track I really had an issue with was Another Level. This one just kind of feels real, I don't know, generic.
yeah.
I didn't really care for it. It really didn't move me very much. And the chorus is unnecessarily loud. Like, they throw out a lot of echo and reverb on it. And I believe Jamie Josta pops up on this one to repeat the chorus, which the chorus is just pretty much repeating I'm on another level and then having Jamie Josta scream the same thing in the background. But in the song, it has a couple of, like, Slayer-ish riffs on there. There are some real cool, like, Hanneman-esque moments on this album. But it wasn't enough to really lift this song up. And then after that we get Colors, which I had to actually look up because, like, why does this sound so fucking familiar? And this was way back on, like, Yo MTV Raps when I was a kid. This was actually a song that he did on his own back in 1988, and he just decided to do a metal version of it. Well, it's kind of a cool idea. I don't think it was really necessary. Plus, when you already had a cover on there, this kind of feels like him covering himself.
A cover of a cover after a cover.
Coverception.
I'll tell you what I am sure of, though. I was not a fan of Colors, but the shining spot of that song for me was a very cool, probably my favorite guitar solo of the album. It was very Steve Vai-esque.
Yeah.
The phrasing and the note choices was like Steve Vai just decided to play a solo over a new metal track. So while the rest of the song didn't do anything for me, that lead was very cool and the brightest spot for me in that track.
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly just kind of a nostalgia thing, and I don't know, I kind of had that, yes, I do remember where this came from moment, and then I was like, oh, is this really supposed to be here, though? Now, No Remorse definitely picks it back up. This one has a almost kind of deathcore-ish feel to it, honestly, and this one actually has some awesome fucking lines in it. I think he says, I wouldn't feed you a hot bowl of shit if you were hungry, which I'm going to fucking use that from now on because that was awesome. Pretty much this is just him saying, no, I'm not apologizing for shit. Fuck you. You know, it's so in your face, and it's, I mean, like, at some point you'd think it'd be comical, but you never doubt the sincerity of Ice-T on this. Like, I believe he legit hates everything that he says he hates on this, and occasionally likes the things he likes in here, because it's always hostile and in your face, and I just kind of like that. It feels honest. It doesn't feel like, you know, fake anger just to sell records, Fight for Your Death Punch.
No, it's real. That dude's lived through some shit. He's seen some shit, man. You know, I guarantee in his early days he has a lot to be pissed off about.
Yes. I mean, hell, man, he's an old guy too, man. Old guys get
grumpy.
They
get crotchety as hell when they get older. All right. So I've been asked to talk about a certain track called When I Am Gone. To me, well, first I should say Amy Lee of Evanescence makes a guest appearance.
Weirdest pairing ever. Yeah,
Ice-T and Amy Lee is never a pairing I ever thought would be possible, and the results were kind of what I expected when I thought such an odd parody. This is easily my least favorite track on the entire album. I feel like they tried to go for like a big metal hook, real poppy hook with Amy Lee there, and it just absolutely did not work on any level for me. I was fast forwarding this song for any additional different parts just to say that I heard it after about 45 seconds to a minute in.
I listened to the entire thing and it feels so disjointed. It feels like two separate songs. Like, I like the, you know, the intention behind it. You know, don't fucking waste your time saying you miss them when they're gone. Tell people you like them now and all that shit. Probably the most heartfelt thing that's on here in terms of positivity, I guess.
Sure.
But
the message is great.
The song was not good. It just I don't know. I don't know where it belongs. It doesn't feel like it even belonged to this album. Like this was a B-side, or just kind of an idea that really.
Hey, fuck it. We got some budget left on this. Let's call Amy Lee. Let's try to get let's get a radio hit. Call her up. Call that bitch up.
Yeah, no, it didn't work. Didn't work. But I gotta say, the last two tracks, I think, really just absolutely
ended strong.
Whoop the shit out of you. The Critical Beatdown. One of my favorite tracks on here. It's very fucking crunchy. It's heavier than hell. It's thrashy.
And it has a real beatdown in it.
And there's a beatdown in the fucking breakdown.
That's authenticity right there.
There you go, man. And it's about people talking shit on the internet and everything, and just people talking shit in general. Don't talk shit to T, man. Just don't. It seems like he would whoop the living fuck out of you.
And he would not even serve you a hot bowl of shit if you were hungry. So what's that say?
Probably dump it on your head and then continue kicking the shit out of you. And then The Hate Is Real, which I believe the intro on that with the newscaster, I believe that's Jello from Dead Kennedys. And this one is honestly the thrashiest song on here. It is a fucking barn burner.
Enjoyed it.
It goes full on fucking Slayer, Exodus.
Good for them for
Creator.
closing strong.
Oh, dude, it just whooped the shit out of you. And it's just a great song. I love the vocal delivery on this one especially. They bring back the gang vocals on here. And that just adds like a big impact to it. And it's pretty much just calling people on their bullshit, much like this entire album does. And yeah, overall, this was a fun listen. Yeah, the tracks I didn't like kind of, whatever, but the tracks I did like were awesome, so I'm going to give it 3.5 stars.
I was wavering between 3 and 3.5, and so I had to think about it, and I pondered, because I did enjoy this album, but it's just not something that I'm going to find myself listening to regularly, okay? So I decided to give it a 3.5 because the excellent job of executing Ace of Spades was enough for me to give it another half point, so I think it was a job well done by Body Count. Once again, the album artwork was incredible, and the songs were really well crafted and well thought out.
So, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because if you subscribe, you're entered in our giveaway for a Cryptopsy hoodie. Once we hit 1,000 subs, we're going to give that away to one of you lucky people, and we are over the 900 mark right now, so...
So close, please help us! So close, please help us!
It's going to happen. I feel it. So, thank you for watching, and we will continue bringing you all sorts of cool, awesome metal shit.